that.
Thanks, Craig.
Absolutely. All right. Well, welcome, 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 everybody. Thank you so very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us. It is Sunday, June 23rd, and it is time, whatever time you happen to be watching us, for oh, wait a minute. Whoops. It is time for the Imaginators. Almost forgot that. So we're so glad to have you on board with us today. Just a lot of excitement, a lot of things happening. Um, we know that you guys are on your way to bigger and better things. I hope you did your homework. Yes, exactly. Um, Now, just a couple of quick announcements before we get rolling. First of all, shout outs and welcome to. Now, if you're a member of the Inner Circle, you are automatically part of the Imaginators. So we got to give shout out to new Inner Circle members, Jaren Jones and Donnell B. Johnson. So thank you so much for joining us on this amazing journey. We are really glad to have you on board. And don't forget, if you do want to share, because that's the whole idea behind Imaginators, is we share our imagination with everybody and how to kind of best what it is that we want, where we're going with it. Um, Look at the very bottom of the screen there. Put your cursor where you see my face. On the bottom, there'll be buttons that appear down there. Look for the reactions button. Click on that reactions button and then click raise hand, and we will call on you. You can also, if you don't see that reactions button, then look for the more button. It's the one with the three dots. And then click on that, then click on reactions, and then click raise hand, and we will call on you there. Or the other way, of course, which some people have already done, is type your question in the chat and we will answer it. Once again, just to let everybody know, Robert and Terry are not here with us. And gee, I think they're on a thing called a vacation. How nice. And the fact that they can just go and do what they want and be with some incredible people, learn new things, celebrate life, that is incredible. And that's where we're on our way to going to, each and every one of us. So let's move forward. Let's take our imagination to a brand new level and get things started. Matt, do you want to share a couple of things as we get this Imaginators call rolling?
Thank you so much, Craig. First off, Craig's awesome. Thank you so much for being here to not only help, but host for this. Like you said, my parents are not here today. They'll be back next week. So you got me and Craig for today's Imaginators. Hopefully that's fine with all you guys. Who was on the call yesterday? The AMA, if you want to even call it that. It was like more of like just a hangout, I would say even. And then of course the amazing tutorial by our Craig Jackman here showing how to
And
use
Matt
Vizard.
Hollis.
I showed off a little couple things. So I was even thinking like I need to go ahead and cut that stuff out of that video and just upload it because I feel like people are going to want to watch what you shared over and over again. And so I'm like, I got to edit that out today. So today I'm going
I'll
to do
take care of
that.
that. I've got that since I've
Oh,
got the master to that. So I'll go ahead
I,
and
I,
edit
I was going to
both
say, I
of
just,
those.
thanks, Craig. I was going to say, I never try to take Craig's weekends away or Sundays away other than this call. So, but I don't really have anything else to say other than anyone that was on that call, and hung out with us yesterday knows that I did give a little bit of homework. It wasn't required homework unless if you count it as like something that will hugely benefit you. So I would say that it is required in the sense that it will help you out a lot more than it would help me or us. And that is to figure out who and what inspires you, what inspired those people. Use Chat GPT or Google to kind of see the lineage of inspiration, because I find that to be not only fun, but it gives you so much more awareness of where your wisdom comes from, right? And so if you did do that, awesome. If you didn't do that, that's totally fine. Just, we'll probably talk about it with a couple of people on here and you'll see hopefully the benefits enough in it to try it after this call. So with that said, I don't really have anything else to say, Craig. We could raise some hands and answer some questions and stuff. Um, we
Yes,
do try
absolutely.
with these Imaginator calls to play more in the realm of creativity and imagination and stuff. The inner circles or more personal development calls. So I would say if you're still stuck on the imagination part and you're like, I just can't imagine my future, I can't think of what I want to be doing or what I should be doing, or I'm not even excited about anything, right? Those inner circle calls, and especially like yesterday, and when my dad gets back and is able to help people more with breakthroughs, I highly recommend getting on one of those calls if you are an inner circle member. And of course, if you are an inner circle member, you're also an Imaginator member and you're on here with us. So I wanted to preface by saying that only because it can kind of get to the point where it's like every one of these calls is kind of similar, right? Where we're like, we're helping you out with this and then we're helping you out with that. But I want, if we can, you guys, I want to try to focus on our imaginations and creativity for these, at least this one that we're hosting. If that's fine with Craig and everybody else here, let's dream a little bit, dream about our future and dream about what we want to be doing. So instead of more so asking questions about how to do it, which we're more than happy to help, there's still going to be a lot of dreaming going on. So with that said, let's get into it, Craig. I'm excited.
Absolutely. This what I love is the fact that here, and I know Robert uses a great word, dreamscape.
Yeah.
And this is your chance that you can dreamscape. And it is imagination. I mean, we kind of close our eyes, close our minds off to the world, shut everything else off for a little while. Yes, turn your telephone off, turn your cell phone off, turn your TV off, and just let your mind wander. Let it explode with your imagination and see where it takes you. And that's, I think I can speak for everybody here. That is exactly what Robert wants you to do, so that you can find that 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 thing, that person that you are. Not that you, I mean, not that, Linda is not Linda and Sandy's not Sandy, but who your essence is. And that's what's so great about Imaginators Inner Circle and just this whole community. You guys have really helped to make it work in such a great way. So hands up include Lisa Marie Cook and Deborah Bronner. We're going to go ahead and get started with Deborah Bronner since her hand was up first. So Deborah, go ahead, open up, and please share with us.
Hello,
Hey,
fellow Imaginators. So glad to
hello,
be here.
hello.
I tried for 2 hours to get on yesterday's call. My tablet wouldn't refresh, but the good news, about a month ago, Matthew, I asked you about a laptop. I've never had one of those, and the one I purchased just arrived yesterday afternoon. So
Oh,
hopefully,
awesome.
the next calls I'll be able to not have the same problems I've been having with this little device.
I'm sure
So
that's a
looking
huge
forward to
relief.
that. Just wanted to check in, and I will be watching the replay of yesterday's and doing the homework. Thank you guys. Love
Thank
everybody.
you. Thanks, Deborah.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Yes, Deborah, thank you so much. And Deborah, if I can say something, because I know that especially technology can be a challenge for people. Good for you for taking up the challenge.
I was going to
This
say
And
the
is
same
so
thing.
important to me.
It's just making the decision and getting started. Like so many
Yes.
people will sit for so long in imagination and not follow through by actually doing the process. So now that you got the computer, now it'll be easier to not only get on the calls, but then it'll be a lot easier to do some of the storytelling stuff that you want to do in the future and everything like that.
What
Cause
was
you'll have,
supposed to come with AI? I'm sorry, I interrupted. AI, the one I ordered, and they
oh,
sent a
really?
different one. Yeah, with AI already installed. It was a Samsung Book 4 Pro, and they sent a different one. So,
What?
oh, I know. Good old Best
You're gonna,
Buy. So we'll see.
I'd be reaching back out to them. I'm like,
I am.
I always want
Later
exactly what
today, I
I,
will. Yeah. Thank
okay,
you, guys.
awesome. Thank you, Deborah.
all right, Deborah, thank you so very much. Okay, there we go. Lisa Marie, you want to go ahead, open up, and share with us?
Hey guys, how is
Hey,
everybody?
Lisa. Doing
Okay,
great.
so I did do the I'm awesome. uh, I did do the assignment, and it got me thinking a lot, a
Hmm.
lot. I've been thinking a lot. But the three things that I wrote down for inspiring me was, of course, Robert, Abraham Hicks, and I had animals in there,
Hmm.
just animals in general. And I opted not to dig deeper into the animal part yet because it seems to get me too widely distracted and I don't get anything done. Okay. But when I was going through this process and asking chat, more in depth about,
Hmm.
so I asked, what were like Roberts. First of all, I said, I am inspired by, do you want me to say that? Or do you want me to tell you what I said? Or is that just too much?
No, you do whatever you feel comfortable doing, Lisa Marie. We're just
Okay.
hanging out here. That's all that this is.
Okay.
We're supporting
Yeah.
each
And
other through our creative journey, and you're sharing yours with us right now. So,
okay. I certainly don't want to take up the whole time. So, uh,
well, we don't have any other hands raised right now, so
okay.
it's maybe other
We do have
people
a
will feel.
question that we want to get to eventually, just to let you
Sure.
know. But
Okay.
definitely, and
Okay.
then people will.
So, what I asked ChatGPT, I said, I want to create content from the things that inspire me.
Mhm.
Okay. And how do I do that? What kind of sources? And I said the three things that inspire me was Abraham and Robert and animals. Like I said, animals I didn't get into. So then I asked them the five key points that Abraham concentrates on in her teachings. Okay. And then they gave me that. And then so I was really curious to do Robert. And I was pretty surprised by it being as good as it was. I mean,
Right.
because how do they know that? I mean, how do you know what I mean?
It's trained off of not only massive amounts of data sets that are taken from the internet. Like if you imagine how Google works, right? How it's constantly scouring the internet for keywords and for all these things, right? That's a
Hmm.
bot that's doing that. So to think that all of that serviced an algorithm at one point, but now is just a large, that's why they call them large language models. You basically just feed all of the language of the internet into it. And so it's learning off of that. And behind the scenes, there's other AIs and also human beings that are going, yes, this is the right thing. No, this is the wrong thing. And it's learning off of that like a child would. So say someone asks about Robert Hollis and then they hit no, that was a bad answer. That would go to an AI
Okay.
or the GPT team or whoever they're outsourcing that to. And then they go, a lot of people are saying Robert Hollis's information is wrong. And so you need to go in and look and make sure that it's accurate. And then they go through and they look that it's accurate and they say, yes, this is, no, this isn't. And the AI refines its process and gives you better answers. But it's also smart enough to do that in somewhat real time now. So it also can do that based off of, now that it's got memory, based off of how you're talking. So maybe you specifically are talking about Robert Hollis, the guy that created the diving systems, right? Like if you
Hmm.
guys know, there's another Robert Hollis out there that's famous that created scuba diving gear. And so if you were talking about my dad and it kept bringing up scuba diving, obviously you'd go, no, that's not the Robert Hollis I mean. And then it would remember, oh, Lisa Marie only wants to talk about this Robert Hollis, not that other one. So
Right.
it's
Okay.
it's somewhat, it doesn't mean that it's always giving the world's most accurate information, but it is learning how to. So, and that's how
Okay.
it gets the information. It's just, yeah, believe it or not, they've actually been having to partner with like a bunch of places, whether it's journalism places or news places, or even places like Reddit, right? Like OpenAI just signed a contract with Reddit because they've actually like started to run out of training data to train the next set of GPT. Like
Hmm.
it's already blown through like collectively the information that we have, and it needs new, fresh information. And so now they need to feed it information, not just from the past, but more current
Right.
information.
It's
So
all very interesting. So
it is,
anyway,
yeah.
I was I was sitting there contemplating, what I wanted to focus on for content because I've got a lot of videos out there. I've done a lot of different things, right? I did the scriptures. I was very consistent with that for a year, and I've kind of been fizzling out because I want to do the faceless videos. I do.
Okay.
You know, I yeah, I want to do those. And then I got into the Buddy's Place and the animated characters, and I thought I really bit off way more than I could chew there.
You're
It
like,
just,
maybe I just want to tell stories. I'm not an animator.
yeah, that was
I get
that
that.
was
I get that.
overwhelming, and it scares me, and I guess what stops me from moving forward is I feel like I have to explain myself to my audience and what I want to do. Do you know what I mean? Because
Well, I think the thing about that, Lisa Marie, is like I question whether, and I only am saying this because I've gone through this process and still am going through this process. If any of you guys know me right now, I currently have multiple different things that I'm growing.
Mhm,
And I, in one area, go by a totally different name. In another area, they know my real name. In another area, it's another screen name. So that's because they're separate communities, right? Like,
yeah,
if I'm playing video games with my friends, odds are they call me by whatever my screen name is in the video game, right? And that's just the way that it is, instead of calling me Matt, so everybody else knows who they're talking to. It's the same with YouTube. So the audience that you've created knows you as that person. What's so
mhm,
interesting about you wanting to do faceless videos or anything like that is I wouldn't say your YouTube channel is large enough that pivoting to a different genre or pivoting to a different thing is a bad idea. I think you're still in that realm of like, hey, I'm interested in this or I'm interested in that, but what I was gonna say to you guys here on YouTube, especially, is you have to think of YouTube more like a television network, right? Here's your TV network that you're running. You get to be the person that's sitting there going, this show airs, this show doesn't, this show airs, this show doesn't. Now you're basing that off of advertising and ratings, right? So
mhm.
imagine those are the same two things that they base all the television off now, right? And when you're thinking about that and you're building an audience, imagine you're the Lifetime channel, right? Anyone watch Lifetime channel or have?
Mhm.
Okay. What are the odds of you seeing Rambo First Blood on the Lifetime channel?
Right, not.
You wouldn't see it. Even if the CEO or the people that were running Lifetime are huge fans of the film Rambo. They wouldn't show you Rambo, even though that they're huge fans, because they know that the people that are part of their network and tune in every day do not like to watch Rambo. So that's how YouTube works, and that's how the algorithm works. So
That
if you're
makes sense.
getting growth by doing animal videos and you enjoy doing animal videos or whatever it may be, type of content, continue to do that and continue to do what's helping you grow. And I wouldn't say that it's a bad thing to pivot, but I would definitely say that it's a bad thing to pivot every day or every other day. I would just
Right.
pick something and run with it for a month, see how you feel after a month, and then go from there instead of
Okay.
going, okay, today I'm going to post MDC videos. Tomorrow I'm going to post Buddy's Place videos. Because as you're doing that, the algorithm is trying to figure out what audience would hit your information the best, and
I'm
it's having a hard
confusing
time
them.
deciding. Yeah, it
Mhm.
has a hard time deciding that when it's like, oh, is this a personal development channel? Is it animal sanctuary? Is it this or is it that? And it unfortunately it's this is the truth. And like I said, I've dealt with this myself. This comes from a place of you not knowing what you want to do, not YouTube.
Right.
And like I said,
I'm
it comes from a
beginning to
personal
realize that.
experience.
I'm beginning to realize that,
Because
Matthew.
it's like, do I want to talk? For me personally, I love books. I love art in general, movies, video games, all these things. Now, if I wanted to go out and make a YouTube channel talking about movies, yes, I could talk about games because they kind of in certain situations correlate. But odds are that the group of people that will watch my content will love film and really not give a shit about video games. You know what I mean? And so it's like, okay, I know when I release a review or a talk about a video game, no one's going to watch it. But I know when I release a new movie review about, Furiosa that's out or whatever, people are going to check that out because they're like, I want Matt's opinion on this. And so it's good to think about it that way. It's good to think about what type of community you want to grow, what audience you want to grow, and how you're going to service them the best. Because I think a lot of us think about ourselves in the process. And one of my favorite filmmakers, he was on my list yesterday that I showed you guys of people that inspire me, is Alfred Hitchcock. And Alfred Hitchcock had this incredible skill that only a certain amount of artists do. James Cameron is another one, I would say, and that's why he's a billionaire from making all these films like Avatar and Titanic, is they're not just artists, they're aware of the audience and their reaction to their art. They're not selfish about it in the same way other artists sometimes are, where they're like, oh my God, like this is me that I'm putting out there. They're going, no, if the audience isn't enjoying what I made, then I'm not doing what I planned on doing. Right? They need to hit beats. So when people talk about Alfred Hitchcock as a filmmaker, they call him the master of what? Suspense. They call him the master of suspense because he did what? He would play the audience. He was like the orchestra. He was doing the orchestra and the audience was the orchestra. He was the person playing the symphony. And he went, oh, I know you guys believe this is going to happen. Watch when this happens. So anyone that's seen Psycho knows, I'm not going to spoil that film because it's one of the best of all time. But anyone that's seen any of his movies like Psycho know, if you went into the film thinking of what it is, you'd be surprised how much that's not the case. And how much it takes a 180 here and then a 180 there. And that's from a place of him going, audiences don't want to see the same shit again. I want to play with their knowingness even of what's going to happen. And so you'll see that ability in other artists, whether it's the Beatles. Beatles are another great one. If the Beatles constantly showed up and gave people more of their boy band stuff, twist and shout, they would have just facilitated the same audience. But in their minds, they were like, nah, I'm going to give them what I think they want. They don't know they want it yet. But that's knowing the people that you're cultivating.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes a
So
lot
they
of
knew how to
sense.
play with their audience because they grew with their audience. And you see artists do this. It's like, listen, when they made Twist and Shout, the people that were twist and shouting to the song were their age and loved that music. When they were in their 20s, different people, different music, different time. When they were in their 30s, different people, different music, different time. Then they split up, different people, different music, different time. So I think when you're thinking about your audience, it's not that you can't grow and change. Just pick a lane and grow in that lane at the channel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Michael
You,
Jackson, right, Jerome, another person.
yeah,
Hey,
for sure.
Matt, just curious, and I'm trying to find it. I know that it's there, and you may know where to find it exactly. In the YouTube settings, when you set up your channel, you can say, I want my content to, yeah, the category for your content. I'm trying to find that, and I just can't seem to find it. Have you set that, Lisa Marie?
I don't have mine set because I feel that mine changes.
Well, and
right. I would just
go ahead,
Craig. No, you go ahead first, Craig. I've been talking.
Okay. Well, all I can say is, that can be, like I think we've discussed this before, is you can set it for, the different topics that you have, the different channels that is under the Lisa Marie Cook umbrella. So you can have Buddy's Place. You can have your what is it? Okay, Matt, there you go. Let me go ahead and focus on Matt here really quick because he's got that there, and I we need to remove some spotlights. But yeah, I mean, you there it is. So you can set it up so that you have separate channels that focus on the different topics. So your Buddy's Place won't mix with your daily affirmations or whatever the religious things that you share, and maybe something else. But yeah, I've been trying to find that, and I could not see it in there, but I know it's there.
Right.
So that's
you
how
could do
you
it
can
per video
manage
too.
multiple channels. I see. Wow.
Well, I mean, multiple channels is actually really, really easy, you guys. If you click up here, and you see switch account, you're going to see all the accounts I currently own in there. And making a new account is as easy as opening this up, add account here on the bottom, and making a new account. It's as easy as that, a new YouTube channel.
I
So,
think I think I really screwed something up really badly, and I'm gonna have to take care of
no,
it very soon.
you didn't screw anything up.
You
You're
didn't
still
know,
growing. You
Lisa
learned.
Marie.
Yeah.
I know I did. You guys got to hear me out because you know, I switched it to Buddy's Place instead of Lisa Marie Cook. I switched the
Mm-hmm.
name.
No, that's
So,
fine.
okay, but I had to fill out the Google stuff for Buddy's Place, and I tried to make the birth date this year, and that threw me in a hell of beans because now I have to be a parent supervisor. Otherwise, they're going to shut Buddy's Place down. I can't have a YouTube channel and all
Oh,
this
yes.
drama. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell did I do?
So
Good
what
grief.
would be my first thing that I would do? I would go to ChatGPT and say, I just made a big mistake with YouTube. How would I remedy this situation? I put in the
Okay.
wrong age and stuff, and it's telling me now that I can't make content because it thinks I'm 2 years old. And they're like, what are you
Actually, I
talking
did do
about?
that. I did do that. And I've got this whole process now again. It's like I
No,
create more for
it's
my
honestly it's just a small hiccup. It honestly shouldn't ruin your creative process at all.
no,
It's just a
no.
technicality. And to tell you guys, like you're talking about changing the name of the channel, if you guys notice, we're back to the Robert Hollis channel. We're not Robert Hall. It was Unlimited Wisdom. Unlimited Wisdom with Robert Hollis. And just like all of us, my dad is also going through a path of growth, going, what do I want to do here with this? What do I want to do here with that?
Yeah.
Right? We all go through
That
that
makes me
process
feel better.
consistently.
Yeah.
Yes. And he just is lucky enough to have me and Craig to go, hey, I want this changed. And then we go
Right.
change it.
I
So,
know. I always say that. Craig's got, or Robert's got those two guys. You know, he's got a little advantage
well,
over us.
he worked a really long time to build a following in a community of people that care about him and want to help him. You know what I
That's right.
mean? If I
That's
wasn't
right.
here and Craig wasn't here, it would just be two other dudes. You know, they might not be as cool and as handsome as us,
Mhm.
but they would, or there
Probably
could be
not.
some women here, who knows? So,
Anyway, I wanted to share. I did do the homework, but it did make me think a lot about what I really want to do. And
mhm.
honestly, even above the animals, I want to inspire others. So whether that's with the scriptures, whether that's with Buddy's Place, whether that's with personal development,
Okay.
whatever. I
So,
mean, they're all a part of my growth.
right. So
So,
here's a recommendation for you. If that's the direction that feels most like Lisa Marie, like in your heart and in your soul,
mhm,
that's what you want to do. Then it's just dialing down into what that is. So you brought up Abraham Hicks, my dad,
mhm.
and then animals, right? So in my mind, this doesn't leave the Buddy's Place timeline. It just ties into it in a different way. And let me explain why.
I
Animals
think
are
I
very
get that.
inspiring, loving, and caring. And
Mhm.
some are just naturally that way, right? You know, I have corgis, so it's like a 50-50 with them. But most of the time, they're amazing, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so at showing love and caring. So why not share an inspiring thing that you learned while on the farm, sharing that time with the animals or whatever it
mhm.
may be? Or if you don't want to be on camera, you could just share video of the animals with the sayings or the things that you want, with the scriptures or the things that you want. Because the truth is that you don't need, as I was showing yesterday, a lot of people think that they need all of this shit to be successful at it. And I brought up the Lifetime channel. Do any of you guys know who runs the Lifetime channel? I don't. I mean, why would you, right? Unless if you're like work
Mhm.
there. Um,
Good
and
point.
that's
Good point.
similar with a lot of YouTube channels that you guys probably follow that are faceless channels. You don't know who
Right.
runs the channel, what their name is, who they are, what they do, outside of uploading content that you watch and enjoy,
So
right? They're
basically,
just there to
we be
entertain you.
whoever we want. We can make up whoever we want to be.
My gosh, you want to hear a big breakthrough, Lisa Marie? That actually is all the time outside of the internet too. So that's one of the big
Wow.
realizations is it's like I get to be whoever I want to be out here. Actually, this is
Right.
my life. This isn't
This
anybody
could be
else's.
freaking fun, man.
Yeah, it should
Right?
be. It should be. Yeah,
Yeah, for
absolutely. Well,
sure.
thank you for sharing, Lisa Marie.
Yeah, thank you. That was very helpful, man. And Craig, thank you too.
Yeah, I was gonna
So,
say, Craig, do you have anything to add on to all that or?
No, I think just I think what I shared earlier about if talk to Chat GPT, you may even be able to message YouTube and talk with
oh,
them about what you need to do to make that appropriate adjustment. If not,
ah,
ChatGPT, it's free. YouTube, you may
mhm,
not get obviously a human, but you may get a bot that can help you, or somebody who's sitting there goofing around to on the
right.
customer
Do
service
you?
side. But
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's possible. It's you're finding out what your niche is,
Right.
and the other thing I thought of was while Matt was talking is, okay, so you've got Buddy's Place as your main channel, What's
Hmm.
wrong with just offshooting from Buddy's Place with a new account, a new channel that's Lisa Marie Cook? And you can still do the
Right.
same thing. You don't
Yeah, that's
have to
true.
change the master so much, but just change maybe a little bit of the focus. Lisa at Lisa Marie Cook will still do well and separate
Right.
from Buddy's Place.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I could
That
leave
you.
Buddy's place where it is because that's
Leave
monetized.
it alone. Don't change
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
no, the only thing that I would say like against that is the monetized aspect. Is it's like getting monetized on YouTube does take energy and time,
Yes.
and I'm so proud of you for doing that.
I am
I
too. I couldn't believe
like
it.
I as easy as it would be to be like, I'm just gonna leave Buddy's Place where it is. I would also say that would be better for you to just rebrand. Believe it or not, guys, people actually have full-time jobs where they sell YouTube accounts that they get to a certain amount of followers, so then they can be rebranded because they're already monetized channels. And
Oh,
some
wow.
of those, you remember how those methods I showed you guys yesterday? Those are
Hmm.
the types of people that are, that's a whole nother back end to that business. Is that there's
Wow.
people that go out there and make all those animal videos or whatever it may be, right? Get to 1,000 subscribers in that monetization area of views, and then monetize the channel and then sell it to somebody who needs that monetization or wants it. And then they just
Well,
rebrand it because 1,000 followers is not a lot. It
no,
is, but it's also not. You see what I'm
it,
saying?
yeah, it is a lot when you're a beginner and you know what the heck
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're
and in
doing, but
10 years, it'll
yeah,
seem like when you're getting 1,000 in an hour off one video, then you go, well, okay, it's a
right.
different realm of things. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't celebrate now because that's
Yeah,
a huge accomplishment getting
it
monetized.
is. I am super,
And I would
I
say that
gotta tell myself
you're
that
looking
too.
at months and months of work of remonetization on
Hmm.
another Lisa Marie channel. And the only reason you do that is if you were still going to consistently update Buddy's Place. If you're just going to
Yeah,
leave Buddy's Place and work fully on Lisa Marie, you might as well just rebrand Buddy's Place.
And actually,
gotcha.
to maybe take that to a uh, different way of looking at it. How many email accounts do you have?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, there's a reason why I'm saying that is if you can create another
Milo.
free Gmail
Mhm.
account
Yeah.
that is let's just say right now that the one that you're using currently is Buddy's Place at Gmail. There is
Okay.
nothing wrong with creating Lisa Marie Cook at gmail.com, and then you have two separate
Hmm.
completely separate channels that in
Right.
this case you can monetize
Hmm.
because now they're separate entities. They're not Lisa Marie Cook is attached to the Buddy's Place at Gmail.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah, that makes sense, Craig. I got you.
Yeah.
I'll get
At the end of the
this.
day, I was going to say, Lisa Marie, at the end of the day, you should, like, we're going to give you advice, but you should follow what you want to do because the truth
Yeah.
is,
Hmm.
and you've even seen this realization in my dad lately too, because we've had such great talks about it. The truth is we can't get you guys to do any of the things that maybe we want you to do or think would be good for you. The
Right.
only way that you're going to do this stuff is if you want to do it and you decide
Mhm.
to do it. It's kind of like Inception, right? Like
Yeah,
I got to get you to believe in yourself, but it has to be your belief, not my belief in you. So me
exactly.
inspiring you, going, Lisa Marie, you can do this. You're a badass. Getting monetized. You know how hard that is. You know, a small amount of people actually do that in the
Hmm.
world, put themselves out
Right.
there and have done what you've done. I can say all those things to you, but if you don't believe that in yourself, the moment that you leave here, you're not going to care what I said.
You're right.
Because
Yeah.
then Lisa Marie starts talking again, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
who cares what Matt said? You know what I mean? Maybe he
Yeah.
was lying. Maybe he was just trying to pump me up. Maybe,
Yeah.
then all the excuses come in.
Yeah, it's
The
got to
Dino
come from
stuff.
me. It's got to come from me.
Mhm.
Buddy's place, well, I'm never going to give that up. But I think I can be more inspiring to others if I just maybe not focus on it so 100%, just let it fall where it may,
Yeah,
and just,
it's interesting because it's kind of like there's a certain amount of brain rot, I would say, that's happened just because we're in this transitional period from one version of humanity and society into another. And we're just the in-between children of that growth,
hmm
right? So right
hmm
now, we're coming from a place where career was a lifelong decision and it's something that you had to go after. It's something that was important, maybe even needed to get a degree in it and focus on it heavily to become a success at it. And now we're in a place where you could pick and choose different things and make money here, make money there. Career really is like a loose word nowadays because a lot of people have
hmm
degrees in things that they're not actually building a career in. There's multiple different ways that life works now. And I think the upsetting part about that is we're so career oriented. We think everything that we pick needs to be it, and it also needs to be, we need to give it our all. Like we can't if it's going to work. And that's a certain
hmm
amount of mentality that like you grow up with, right? Because that is somewhat true, at least in the
Yeah.
past. But now there's so much more involved with working smarter than working harder. And if you look at anyone that's successful, that's the truth, right? Like
Right.
someone that's like Elon Musk had to work hard in the beginning, but now he answers emails and has people manage those things, right? At some point, you might have somebody that manages Buddy's place for you, right? And that
hmm
supports you, cares about you, and you built that together. And I'm talking way out. But I think
hmm
it's important for everybody, and I'm learning this myself, to realize that whatever you pick is not a career. It's not something you have to do for a long time if you don't feel like it, whatever it may be. As AI starts to get better, you're going to have even more choices and options. And then it's going to become
hmm
like, well, what do I feel like doing today? How do I feel like contributing today? You
That's
know
what
what I
I
mean?
want it to be like, whatever, because there's so many things I enjoy doing, so many.
Right.
Why do I have to limit it to
Well, it's just that mentality, maybe like that mentality that if I'm into painting, here's where my mind gets messed up, right? If I'm into painting, I have to work on my mind to stop it going, you're going to have a gallery one day and you're going to sell paintings and
Mhm,
you're going to be a world renowned artist. And what
mhm.
that does is completely disconnect me from the enjoyment of the process of creativity and
Ah,
myself. Because now I'm thinking, about how I'm going to monetize it, how it's going to be a business, how it's going to
and
grow, how this and that's going to
deadlines.
happen, deadlines. And it's like, dude, I was
Yeah,
trying to do a hobby. Like I'm painting with my wife. You know what
right.
I mean? But
Boy, that
that's,
is a great point, Matt. That is
yeah.
huge right there. That was like something went off there.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
of it's awareness too. It's like, don't be
Mhm.
upset at yourself for doing it. Be happy that you have the awareness that you know it's happening. Your
Right.
goal is to like learn how your brain works, not necessarily fix it in the same way that everybody, because everyone's always chasing like fixing shit, right? But in
Yeah.
my opinion, what's worked best for me is the awareness, the mental awareness of how my brain acts, gives me so much power over it. So when I'm starting to get anxious, I'm going, oh, I know how that normally works for me, and I know how I can help that for me,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's learning yourself. No book that I've read, and this is just the honest truth, no book that I've read so far has taught me how to regulate myself as much as listening to myself and understanding myself. That's always worked better for me.
hmm
So like you can
Yeah.
learn things to that you can utilize in that process, but you still got to figure out whether they work for you or not. So
Yeah, that's
Right.
the bottom line.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Ah, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you,
Love
Lisa
it.
Marie.
Thank you so
You're
much,
the
Lisa Marie.
bomb.
Thank you. You guys pull it out of me. You know, like I don't know. I love talking to you guys and sharing anything that I can here just as much as you guys love sharing with us. So
All right. Thank you so much, Lisa Marie. And boy, all of a sudden now we've got some more hands going up. We got a couple of
we might have
questions.
hit a creative spot.
I think we did. Sometimes it just takes that little spark, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Coach Bob and Sandy, you guys are coming up, but we actually had a couple of questions in the chat that we're going to go to. So hang in there, please. We will get to you guys. First of all, Peter and Linda ask, how do you guys kickstart your imagination? Oh, that's, yeah.
Craig, you take it first. Go for it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Peter and Linda, first of all, for asking.
That's a great question. I love questions like that.
It is. And let's see. There you guys are. I'm going to bring you on. Okay. You're not getting away with this completely. Come on. You know, what do you think? What do you like? What do you like to do? That's part of your imagination. Do you embrace it? And, you know, even if it's a hobby, you know, it's like, okay, your day job is, I'm just being facetious here. Your day job is counting sheep, okay? So you're a shepherd, you're out there, you're counting sheep, you're making sure that everybody's there, but what are you thinking on the side? What is it that you like to do?
What are you thinking on the side? Oh, shoot. I'm up.
Yeah, you're live. That's okay. No, but that's a good
forgot.
question. Linda, that's a great question. What inspire, okay, and again, these are, you know, what Robert has shared in the past. What inspires you? What is a passion that you have? A lot of things that each and every one of us do that are different from everybody else. What put you in that spot? What turned you into that direction? Yes, you know, you could be a sheep herder all your life because your mom did, your dad did that, and your family before that, and the family before that, and it's been your whole lineage are sheep herders. Okay, but you're not a sheep herder. You're not a shepherd. So and this is where you see a lot of the movies and TV shows and things like that. It's like, what inspires you? So you're not going to be a doctor. What are you going to do with yourself? You're not going to be a doctor. You're not going to be a lawyer. I want to be a shepherd. What do you mean you're not going into the family business? The point is if this is something that is in the forefront of your mind, and why not go for it? Why not take that chance? And it doesn't have to be go all in, like we've said in the, you know, with the Science of Getting Rich and on the podcast actually from this last Friday. Keep what you're doing, do what you're doing, because obviously that's your living at the moment, and then start funneling your focus to what you want to do, and then build that up. And it can take a year, it can take 2 years, it can take 3 years. It may take less. You don't know that. But unless you go for it and do it, and then if it doesn't work, you found out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's, and then just opening up your mind to kickstart your imagination. Again, meditation, or just noticing certain things. Maybe you notice more blue cars in the last 2 weeks than you've noticed before. It's like, you know, I wonder what makes cars blue. Maybe I can make a paint that's a different blue that people will like. You see where my imagination's going?
Yeah.
Matt?
Thanks, baby.
No, thank you for sharing, Craig. You know, like
You got me thinking.
I was going to say, it's always going to be different for every single person, of course. For me personally, it's going to sound really different than what Craig just said, because and I've dealt with this my whole life, right? Because my dad is a huge meditator, has been. Now my mom meditates. I've done meditation, and there's been parts of it that I really love and that I enjoy. Meditation for me is letting my imagination run wild. and just like letting my brain be creative. So the first thing that I love to do to get into that imagination is I just put on some music that I like to get me into the state and the mood that I love to be in, because I'm a mover. Like I love dancing. I love listening to music and doing all that stuff. So for me, that gets me like my imagination going, right? And it's like, so whether it's editing something together, I'm always listening to music. When I write, I listen to music. Like my like I have the opposite of my wife. Like she enjoys silence.
Quiet.
Yes, and I'm the opposite. I need like music always going. You know, like I'm one of those people that call it ADD or whatever you want, but it's like that I love feeling that energy of movement, of music, of all of those things. So for me to get into my imagination, I like put my headphones on and maybe I'll lean back and just like let my imagination kind of put things together with the music, whether it's how my day is going to go and visualizing that, or how the next week's going to go, or what project I'm working on, or my imagination creatively with a story or something I want to do. Maybe I just watched a movie this week and I'm thinking about how that inspired me and certain bits and pieces of that. But one thing is so interesting is like when I would listen to certain intelligent people, they would talk about not just giving yourself meditative time where your mind is quiet and you can just be at peace, but also giving yourself the time to daydream and just sit there and enjoy that aspect of it and actually dream and grow that way. People don't really take the time to do that, just to think, right? Just to like sit and think about certain things. And I've found for myself that that's very helpful. You know, I've seen people like Bill Gates or even storytellers where they'll like go off to a cabin somewhere and just listen to music by themselves and write. Or I brought up Bill Gates. Bill Gates, like once a year, will take a huge stack of books and leave all of his technology away and go camping by himself and just read on a bunch of different subjects that he was interested in. So then he knows, okay, I'm taking this time to be with myself, to grow myself, to figure out more about myself. And I think that for me has been like how I've gotten my imagination to grow like exponentially, is just that personal relationship, knowing what works for me, which is music. And it's like all genres, basically. So whatever I'm feeling that day. I was listening to Carolina on my mind earlier, and that was really doing it for me. So
Cool.
my wife's from North Carolina, so maybe that was the reason.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Because, just listening, I wrote down 3 things that we actually like to do and we don't do it. Or I'm going to speak in first person. I have not been doing it for sure, not nearly as we used to do it before. And that's one, meditation. Our place used to be a temple, a non-denominational temple, just energy work, all different type of workouts, not workouts,
Energy, extra energy
healing,
events.
Reiki, plant medicine, drums, like you just name it. So that's
Cool.
something that we used to do a lot before, and it has been very neglected lately. So also music is so powerful. The other day, I was actually making this mention in the workout at 7 a.m. We have a daily workout at 7 a.m. But you mention it now, it just brings me back to you're not doing it. Like you are aware of it, you know it,
Yeah.
you know the benefit. Linda, you're not doing it. Especially
Yeah.
Peter, because Peter is more musical and moving than I am. So definitely he benefits a lot by that, doing that, and is been neglecting that a lot too. So and the last thing is the daydream, right? It's kind of like feeling guilty, like let's go, like sitting down 5 minutes in the gorgeous patio right now,
Yes,
the
yeah.
2 months that we
What's
have
wrong with that?
for some. Yes, and it's the guilt is like, okay, it's the end of the day, you have to get into doing the business,
Things to do.
doing the other stuff, So
But
it's
isn't
like,
imagination part of what it is that you want to do?
yeah.
That's the thing that moves mountains, though, right?
Yeah.
Like the thing is like even in my own experience, the more I get caught up in the busy work of life and the less that I'm enjoying it and enjoying the elements of it that I really like when I'm neglecting myself, right? It's like the hobbies that I enjoy, I'm no longer doing this or that. Like it was funny, yesterday I sent Craig, and I've just been really busy lately. But I sent Craig, like, if anyone knows what Letterboxd is, it's like this place for all your movies and stuff to track. It's like a big for cinephiles, like people that like movies a lot. Anyway, I go on there and I'm like one of those people that if I watch a movie, I rate it and track what day I watched it. I'm a weirdo like that. And I'm looking on there and I'm like, I haven't watched a movie in like a month and a half. Now, for me, that's like weird. But it was a reminder, just like you guys are talking about, holy shit, that is kind of why I've been feeling that way lately. I've only been working. And then when I take time off, it's to rest. It's never to like relax.
Yeah, it's all the type
It's
of
like I
work.
rest. I'm resting so I can go back to work. I'm not relaxing, you know?
Yeah.
So I think that that's a huge part of it. So when you guys like go off and like, whether it's daydreaming or listening to music, just like let yourself breathe and relax. That's why I said it's like meditation for me. So it's like,
Yeah.
I get to sit down and watch this movie that I was really excited to see. Great. Like I'm so excited about that. But then when I'm not doing that, it's like, man, why does every day suck? You know what I mean? I hate this work stuff. Why am I building these funnels and doing all these things? So yeah,
Thank you so much.
you have to have a reason to be doing it. So
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Well, we're trying to start, like, we're trying to build a YouTube channel, right? And we're trying to get
Mhm.
those subscribers, and we're trying to think of videos to post and content to post, and we're just
I guess we're too much in our mind, coming too much of like, okay, what you were
not
saying
enough in the
before.
imagination.
Hey,
Exactly.
been
Well,
there a million times. What I'm like, the only reason I started streaming and I need to get back to this is it forces me to make content that I can't control how long it takes to make. Because if I'm fully aware that certain elements of my own process is I'm not a procrastinator, I'm a perfectionist. And so what ends up happening is I want the best idea, right? So I'm like mining for the best idea, and I might find like silver and throw it back, or bronze, and I'm like, no, I want gold and diamond. Like, where is it? Right? And the reality is that a lot of that silver and bronze and gold is very useful, right? And
Yeah.
that by mining that stuff out, I'd be even more excited to find the diamonds, but I forget, I forget about that stuff. So it's like, oh, I'm excited about this movie. I could just make a quick talk about it, like in front of the camera and talk about it. But I don't, because then I go, well, I'd love to edit clips in and give my opinion on this and on that and go into depth on what they talked about here. And it's like, now you're starting to lose yourself in that perfectionism again. Now this video is going to take you a month to make, and now you're not going to make it because you'll lose interest.
Happens
So,
all the time. I
same here,
have
same here.
so many great ideas outside the camera when I'm like in my day to day, like stuff just coming. And by the moment that I say, okay, I'm gonna sit down and do something, it just goes blank.
Right. Been
And
there.
it's like,
You know, if I can suggest something, and I know that Matt has shared this, and I think Robert has. Okay, whatever your idea is, okay, why not go find a YouTube channel that talks about that?
to get
And
ideas.
then get the topics that they have. Follow that channel, scan through their topics, and then, okay, let's say, how to make bread dough. All right. So you find out somebody who's a bread maker or a pastry chef or something like that, and you look on it, and they give you what the basic information is. So then what's wrong with saying, all right, I'm going to do the Linda take on this? That's what people want.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Half the time, like I watch this one guy grow a YouTube channel, and he makes video game guides for a specific niche game. And every guide that he's made, someone already made. But the difference is that he makes them fun and interesting to watch. And so even though the other people are even more refined with their explanation, it's boring to watch their explanation. So have you guys ever watched like a cooking show or a speech from somebody, and you can tell the difference between somebody that's having fun and someone that's just explaining information,
Right.
or even reading it, right? And so I think that's why a lot of people resonate with my dad is like when he's sharing any information, he's sharing it from that place of excitement, to the point that he might even forget certain elements and make his way back to them, right? But that's part of the excitement of it, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Perfectionism is like such a killer to like progress. It is, and I'm realizing that myself. So
it's such a killer of a spontaneity, for sure.
yeah, it is. Spontaneity is like also what YouTube wants you to do. That's the thing, is like YouTube actually, and I've said this too before, similar situation where I've heard a YouTuber talk about a video that he spent a month, like a video essay on a film that he was really interested in. So he makes this whole film essay, right? Talking about these different subjects, and he did it for himself. So I wouldn't say it's a completely lost cause, but he posted it and it got good views, like 500,000, right? And then 2 or 3 days went by and he went and saw a movie in theaters, sat down in front of his camera and shot a video review that was 8 minutes long and it got 1 million. He worked on that other video for a month. He sat down and shot that video after he got home from the movie theater. So it's interesting because he brought up, he's like, it's very disheartening sometimes to put so much work into something and feel so proud and good about it, but not get the reciprocation of views.
Right.
And it's like, well, maybe you have an audience that really loves you. Doesn't want to, they want to hear from you. They don't want to hear about somebody, you talk about somebody else as much as they want to hear about you, what you think, what you feel, what you're doing. They're connecting with you, not your content. And that's an interesting wake-up call, or it was for him, because now he started streaming and growing at that, because now he's going, oh, people are showing up for me. They're not showing up exactly for all the things I'm creating. Like, they want to hear from me. And that will be like people that make food reviews or any different kinds of things. They always show up for those people. So yeah, they'll show up for Peter and Linda. They're not going to show up because you guys are talking about a specific thing, right? And that's why you guys can make a video
That's true.
exactly the same or similar to other people, because they're not showing up for that. They're showing up for Peter and Linda. So
how do you, one last question, how do you become the person you are instead of the person you're trying to be in front of a camera?
honestly, that is gonna, it's exactly the same as I think writing works. And Craig is definitely someone that can help you guys with this question.
Because you guys are
The more you do it, the less, the more you do it, the less you're gonna care. Yeah.
The more that you do it, the more that you do it, the more that you can, and you know, have actually us take a look at the video and, you know, be open and say, look, you know, I just put this together. Can you help me? What do you think? And a lot of times I like to tell people, speak from here, not from here,
Right.
because this will come right out of here.
Mhm.
And that's why Matt hit the nail on that. That's why Robert is so good at what he does.
Yeah.
Right.
Because he speaks from his heart. Now, yes, he uses his head with his heart, but his head does not rule his heart. They work together. And a good actor, a good presenter, somebody who is a teacher, why do they do that? Why are they so good? Because they get into it. They believe it. They share a piece of themselves. They're not just reading a script and just going, okay, let's go to the next point up of my presentation.
Right. Mhm.
Okay.
We've all been there in one of those types of things. And it's like,
The
oh,
first
no.
time I was on stage, I was scared as hell.
Yeah,
But
you're
you know
thinking about
what?
the process instead of having fun with the process.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly. The minute I started bouncing around behind stage, getting excited about the fact that I was going to get on stage and do what I wanted to do, it's part of what my bucket list is. Oh my God, that opened it up totally to a whole new level of interaction, not just with the actors I had on stage, but with the audience. Because even if you're doing, like, let's say you two are doing a show just back and forth, isn't it interesting? And people want to find out, gee, what did Linda think about what Peter said? What did Peter think about what Linda said? God, they are so good together. I want to see more. That's exactly what Matt just said.
It's basically how reality TV conquered the world. You know, like reality TV is one of the main consuming medias that we all watch now. And it's like, we all know it's like fast food. You know what I mean? It's like quick and easy entertainment where you could do multiple things. You'd be scrolling, you'd be working, you do whatever, right? But that's the thing, is that we watch these things like podcasts because we want to hear the person's opinion. We want to see what they have to say about it. So there's a couple of movie reviewers that I respect, and when a new film comes out, I'm like waiting to hear what they have to say about it, you know?
Okay.
So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I mean, I'm learning myself, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much. Everything.
Thank
thank you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you. What a great topic, Peter and Linda. Thank you so
I was
much.
gonna say I can't wait to see Peter and Linda's stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
whatever you guys specifically want to make and do.
We're trying to
just
get
have
to
fun with it.
relationships. We're trying to get more of a relationship thing because we keep keep telling us that we need to create a show about relationships. So
Absolutely.
we're trying to come up with
Absolutely.
topics.
You guys would get so many viewers if you did that. And if you were trying to figure out what topics, you could use ChatGPT for that. Or sit down with one another, write down a couple of things that you guys both laugh and love talking about. And some of those topics could even be taboo. I would say that those taboo niche things, like whether it's
Oh, wow.
energy or whatever you guys are have been interested in, that you can share in your relationship, will actually make you guys get more views and make it easier.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much.
You're just
Appreciate ya.
validating
So
a few
many youngsters,
things.
I really appreciate it.
And you're validating a few
course.
things as well. We're just being validated right now because
Yeah.
she wants to make a few taboo stuff as well. Especially
Hey, you guys, if you guys have been here long enough, you guys will have seen my growth, and people like Melody Ryba and stuff have been on here. So I grew up loving horror films and horror movies. My dad's a motivational speaker that helps people, you guys. So for a long time, I had to deal with, why am I thinking about these weird stories about these monsters and all this crap? What's wrong with me? And I would think shit like that. And then I went, and I said this yesterday. I'm like, then I started watching movies from like David Lynch and some of these other filmmakers and creators, Stephen King. And I went, oh, I'm just one of those weirdos. I can make a lot of money being a weirdo. You know what I mean? Like, so now I'm like, oh, even though it may be taboo to some people, there's people out there that love this type of stuff like I do. They love being scared. They love having that sensation of suspense and stuff. And that's why I said Alfred Hitchcock, right? So
we all have our own tribe. And it's
exactly.
a matter of knowing which tribe we want to have and then just going looking for them.
Yep. So true, Linda. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thanks,
We appreciate you so very much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Peter
you.
and Linda. Wow. Love it when these topics come up and this is Imaginators. We get to imagine and how we can help everybody.
That's what I love about this, is that it's like I love how they said that they're getting a lot of validation, because that's what you guys do for me, believe it or not. Like, we all do that for one another here, because as I'm making my own stuff and I share it with you guys and get that validation, I'm like, I already love doing this. So hearing that from you guys is great. So
Absolutely.
thanks, Craig.
Thank you, Matt. And again, Peter and Linda, thank you. One more question, and then we've got 4 hands already that have gone up. Arthur, Doc Ant, Doc Michelle, Sandy, Coach Bob. So you guys are coming up. One more quick question. I think, Matt, this is probably more to you, but let's see what we come up with, how we brainstorm this. This comes from Faith Casto. I've got Snap Downloader to download videos to my computer to upload to YouTube. And she says thank you to Arthur for doing so. Giving her that idea. Do I need to be aware of how much space all those videos will take up on my computer? And if so, what do I use to keep my computer working good?
Okay, Faith, here's a really quick hack for all of you guys. All right. What I have done in the past, before I had all the storage space and all the shit I have now, I used to archive videos that were big, like multiple gigabyte videos, YouTube private. So I would create a YouTube channel, or I would use the YouTube channel that I currently have, upload the videos that I wanted to keep as private videos so no one could see them but me. And then anytime I want to download them, I could just go back to YouTube, scroll through my videos and download it. Because it's always going to be sitting there. And it's always going to be sitting there, and like, yes, it's going to be encoded by YouTube, but like, you're going to save that space by being able to delete it from your computer and just go, oh, it's always on YouTube. And YouTube's never going to be like Google Drive and go, listen, you hit your 15 gigabyte limit with 2 videos, you're done, or pay us more money. YouTube's always going to be like, listen. And I've done that with music, you guys. Like, I've uploaded songs and all different kinds of things that I wanted to keep. I think YouTube's a great way for backing up stuff. And if you're like, oh yeah, and Arthur said Rumble's another one, any of these websites that allow you to host videos for free, like, they're making money off the monetized videos, but they don't give you a cap on how much space you can have, and they don't tell you that it all needs to be public. Now, at some point, they might delete YouTube, but I think that's going to be a bit before any of that happens. I don't think that will happen actually. So I wouldn't worry about it. So
And then the other suggestion that was shared too in the thread in the chat was getting an external hard drive.
I got a bunch of those, but you have to
yeah.
have computer skills.
That's
So like that's
yes.
one of those things that I'm aware of. And what's so great about YouTube is that if you're already uploading videos to YouTube, the only process you have to do is just take a day, upload a bunch of them. Hopefully you have unlimited internet, because that might hurt you. But just take a day, upload a bunch of them as private videos on a small YouTube channel that you don't want to do anything with, or if you don't care about having congestion on your main YouTube channel, that's the only reason I would say maybe not do it, is like if I'm uploading 500 videos on my private YouTube channel, now I have to scroll through 500 videos to get to what I want, or search through a bunch of videos. So yes, I have a channel that's just Matthew Hollis that none of you guys know about, that I upload videos to just privately, that I want to keep. And this could be anything from a lecture that I like. Me and my dad both do this. We'll like download things we like and then keep them, just on the off chance that they take them down. And we want to have access to them. So
great question, Faith. Thank you so very
amazing
much.
question.
And I even learned about that. Matt, thank you for sharing that. I did not know about having that type of ability, although it seemed obvious once you said it. And again, it's just the realization of somebody being ignorant, somebody sharing what they have, and then it's like, oh my God.
And I was only reminded of that actually this week. Faith's question came in right place, right time, because I actually had to go back and get a couple of videos that I had saved from years ago on my old YouTube channel on private. So I was like, oh, that's why it immediately came to my mind. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I might have said Google Drive. So I'm still remembering going, oh shit, this is a way I could do that. So
great question, Faith.
Thanks,
Thank you
Faith.
so much. Again, it's another inspiration. All right. So, in reverse order, here's what I've got. I've got Doc Ant and Doc M coming up, as well as Arthur Wainio, Coach Bob, or Sandy Baker. But first, before Sandy, Coach Bob. Why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself, Coach Bob, and please share with us.
The man, the legend.
Hey, how's it going, Matt?
Hey, Coach Bob, how's it
Craig,
going?
oh, love
Hey,
you
hey,
guys.
hey.
Love and
miss
appreciate
Robert
you
though a
too.
lot. I
Oh, yeah.
miss Robert though, but you
We
guys
all
are doing
miss
a
him.
great job in between. So,
Thank you.
my question, I'll make it quick so you guys can go through this. So, so when you load Robert's videos up to all the social media platforms, I just want to get your feeling on which ones seem to be more in the next 2 years or 3 years, where you see all these platforms going. I know you love YouTube, right? I mean, you think they're going to be the main stand, but where would you go after that? I mean, what do you think like Facebook's going to be? And
well, the interesting thing, Facebook is going to eventually do what Meta plans on doing in their whole name change. Facebook, Instagram will eventually be just folded into Meta, and it'll just be the metaverse. And you'll just have a Meta account that connects to all of these things. And I don't know where they're going to go with that. Truthfully, the problem with trying to defeat YouTube, it's kind of like based off what you want to do, right? Like the hard part about beating YouTube is it's a one-stop shop for basically everything. And when you think about audiences that you can reach, there's people that do Dungeons and Dragons campaigns and get millions of views on YouTube, and there's people that do gardening that get millions of views and make a full-time income off YouTube. Not to say that you can't do that on Facebook, but it'd be much harder, as we both know.
Right.
So it's more so like thinking, what audience do I want to reach with what I'm making, and what audiences do these networks have, and what audiences will grow on them? I think Mark Zuckerberg's long-term approach with Meta is to turn it into that kind of easy turnkey social media network, and giving you more refined content to keep you on there longer. Will all of that content be generated by AI? Almost absolutely. Like the thing that a lot of people don't realize about Meta AI and Facebook in general is that they probably have the biggest data imprint on all of us of any company on the planet, other than maybe Google or like the CCP in the United States government, right? So because that's the case, their main goal is to monetize your attention span. That's what they've been doing with Instagram and Facebook. So their goal is to just make the content eventually with AI to keep you on the platform longer. And they've already been practicing with this, as where YouTube's approach is more, let's give people the tools to make their own stuff to entertain people and just be the middleman in between the advertising, right? Which is great for them, but can kind of bite them in the foot because it's not a closed process as much as they'd like. But I think long term it will benefit them the most. And I've said this before, I think YouTube will be the, unless if they bite themselves at some point through the Google stuff, they will be the continuation of what we know as entertainment and television and these things. Like I said, before you know it, it won't be like, hey, what aired on Max? It will be like, hey, did you see so-and-so just came out with a new episode of their show? And it'd be very hard for Max and anyone to compete with YouTube, because not only do you have the speed at which people can create new content with AI as it gets better and better, but you have an infinite amount of ideas and no guardrails to a certain extent on what those ideas can be. And I believe YouTube will grow as that grows. I think a lot of their policies on certain advertising things will just change into like different styles, right? Like, so if you wanted to make horror like I do and there's blood or gore in it, there's going to be advertisers that are totally fine with advertising in that, right, realm. As where right now that kind of doesn't exist, right? It's kind of like, oh, you better make content that fits in this advertising network, and if you don't, then it's going to be harder for you. So I think honestly, and then the dark horse in all of this is Amazon, who also owns Twitch, which is the largest live streaming network, right? And so I do think that at some point Twitch is not profitable. I think at some point Amazon is going to just pivot with Twitch. And if YouTube ever like wakes the hell up to streaming, that YouTube would dominate in that space too, just by clicking a couple of buttons and getting a couple of UI designers, right, that actually know what they're doing. So I'm still a large better on YouTube being a success, only because I grew up with it and I've seen it do nothing but grow. If I look up right now, most popular websites, the list of most visited websites, right? The second most visited website on planet Earth right now is YouTube.
Wow. Okay.
I've seen stats that say by 2027, 2028, it will be number one, because Google's going to lose search. Guess what? Number one is Google, right? And Google, its main competitor right now is artificial intelligence. Like, us being able to ask an AI and have an AI do all the search work for us and the busy work is, it scares the shit out of Google, because that actually destroys their business model of giving you paid advertising, of people paying to show up or working for SEO, or, you know, imagine you and me have worked in that world. So imagine now it's like, okay, now you and Coach Bob are out of a job because the AI is going to go get all the information. And so me and you's new job is not to trick Google into giving our shit first, but to trick the AI into giving our shit first.
Right. So you got to be out there,
yeah.
right? I mean, you got to just throw a whole bunch of
Yes.
stuff out there so that the AI will find you.
Or knowing what
So-
AI likes, what
Right.
type of information AI likes, right? So when I heard OpenAI group has signed a thing with Reddit, it's like, I know a lot of the training data that they got in the last layer, you guys, was from YouTube. So believe it or not, what they did, this is going to sound nuts, right? So they ran out of information. So they no longer could use the books that we've written as humanity, the journals, all of these things, right? They ran out of that data. So what they ended up doing is making a bot or bots that scrubbed YouTube. Now, whether or not this is legal or illegal, we'll find out in a court of law when it happens, right? Because this is just something OpenAI did. They built a bot that scrubbed YouTube videos for transcription. Now, this immediately got added at some point into ChatGPT, and now it can transcribe videos. But with that bot, they transcribed almost all of YouTube, because they have all these GPUs and CPUs to run it. They transcribe all these videos on YouTube, and then now that last round of training, that's 4.0, was trained off that set of training data as well. The YouTube videos that you made, that I made, that everybody here made.
Sure.
Right? So how's it know about Robert Hollis? Robert Hollis has made a lot of YouTube videos, talked about a lot of stuff. So now you ask yourself, okay, if that's a training data space, it's probably a good idea to get views on YouTube, right?
Yeah, be in there. Yeah, right.
Right. Facebook will not allow OpenAI to train off data. Why? Because they have Meta AI. They want that data. That's theirs.
Oh, sure.
YouTube's like, listen, here's our API and all this shit. Even though Google's growing off of it and working with it, right? They own it. It's still always been like somewhat, because Google kind of has this thing of like ruining everything but search and Android, right? They're now I'm just rambling against Google, but like they'll launch like something like Google's Google social network and it will fail, right? I think we're getting a little reverb here from somebody.
Let me take a look, but keep going.
But so they can't compete, and with one of the great things that they've done is they've kind of just like left YouTube alone. You know what I mean? And let it grow as it has been. And it's become the second most used site, eventually the first, you know, when all of us go, man, I really hate signing up for 15 different subscription networks to watch one show on each of them, you know, and the show's on its 8th season and it's not even as good as when I started watching it.
Right.
You know what? I'm going to go somewhere where I can watch things for free from creators that are excited about creating shit. Not trying to just milk subscriptions and they know I'll show up for Stranger Things season 8 because I've been watching since season 1. And even though it's not as good as season 1, I'm still going to watch it because I'm committed, right? Sunken cost fallacy. So Sandy's like, this is why I have a special Fire Stick. We don't know what you're talking about, Sandy.
Uh-oh. Well, I think we'll find out shortly because she's got her hand up. But anyway.
No, wait. Yeah, we know what it is. If you know, you know, right? So.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Matt. I really appreciate it. And you too, Craig.
Great question. And answer is,
Yeah.
I don't really know, but I do know, like, there's certain things that I'm betting on, and I'm betting on that YouTube becomes, it's not going to become the social network. It's going to become the de facto place to watch entertainment. Because TikTok's going to get banned. YouTube Shorts are going to grow. Facebook's ecosystem is going to become more closed off and less usable. And more people are going to go. When TikTok gets banned, there's going to be more YouTubers. When people make less money off Instagram, there's going to be more YouTubers. This is going to keep happening. So.
Sure.
I would say, though, Bob, in the meantime, I mean, you've got the big ones that are out there. If you're talking about the social media channels, of course, YouTube. But I mean, what we share with the shorts and things is Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, those are the big ones that we share our videos with.
Sure.
And at least if you're talking for right now, but I agree totally with Matt. You know, as things grow and things change, and that's the one thing, like he said, with TikTok, for example, and Meta and all of that. Yeah. Some things to consider.
Like I've seen, yeah, it's an interesting world out there because I've seen people take content that's specifically niche for YouTube and post it. And we do this too, which it is what it is, right? Because I think some is better than none. But the difficulty is that each one of these social networks deal with people in a different way of how they entertain them. And people they're unaware, or they don't think about that enough when they're just spamming it everywhere. And so if you go and predominantly watch TikTok, you'll see how TikTok content is made. If you watch YouTube, you'll predominantly see how that's made. So if you're posting YouTube content on TikTok, odds are no one's going to watch it. Why? Because it's not TikTok content. It's not content that they're used to seeing. There's not, my dad's got subtitles. That's great for YouTube Shorts. Have you guys watched TikTok? There's like videos going on under videos to keep attention spans. I'm not going to go through the effort of editing videos under videos to get that TikTok audience. It's not one that I'm going after. Right.
Right.
So yeah, in a different space, I might, but that's just something to think about is it's like, okay, do I want to make specific content for LinkedIn? You know, so we've had people reach out to us and go, I could just post all your stuff. Hire us. I'll post your stuff on LinkedIn. And we've had those people do that and gotten no success from it because LinkedIn is a different animal. There's different people on there looking for different things. So.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Love and appreciate you
guys.
guys.
Have great questions.
Job.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Coach Bob, thank you so very much. All right, next up, we've got, of course, Doc Ant Michelle coming up. Arthur's coming up. Sandy Baker. All right, time to show and speak your mind. Go ahead, unmute yourself and please share.
Hey, Sandy.
Hey, all right. So I have to rewind the video because I missed where you said to go in on YouTube and like customize it. I missed that
I'll
part. So
show
I'm
you.
gonna
Yeah,
rewind to
no,
go
I'll show you
there.
guys real quick. Just
Okay.
because we're on here, I'll do it again. So, here's the YouTube channel, right? This is mine. Down
Right.
here under, I'm blocking it with myself. Jesus. All right. Down here under settings, you can click on that. And here is where you're going to set basically all of the, so your general stuff, your channel, advanced settings, these are keywords that are going to
Okay.
show up under every one of your videos just automatically. So any of them that you put in here, like, so you'll see for me, it's storytelling, short films, film it, because this is what I'm doing on this YouTube channel. So I want these to be in pretty much every one of my video tags, right? Over here, always, unless you're making content for kids, I set this to not made for kids, or else every time you upload a YouTube video, you're gonna have to click this yes or
Okay.
no thing, which to me, I don't like. But don't show profanity if that's something you don't want on your channel. Upload defaults, you can have a basic title. So if you're doing a podcast only channel, this is where I would put Unlimited Wisdom with Robert Hollis. And then this is the description that will show up under every single one of your videos, regardless of what else you want to put there.
Okay.
So this is like just an auto done. Do you want your videos to automatically be public, private, or unlisted? This is the place where if you're making a, similarly with what I was talking about with Faith, if you're making a channel where your only goal is to back up stuff from your computer, you can just set this to private, and then that means every YouTube video you upload on that channel automatically will be private. You don't have to
Okay.
click that,
And
right?
just to
These are-
follow up really quick, that doesn't mean that you can't change it if you want to have people view it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this is like blocked words, blocked links, moderators and stuff, automated filters. Maybe there's certain people you don't want to be seen, or certain defaults if you want people to comment on your channel. You can really go into more and more stuff here. And then another area is customization. This is more your channel. So this is going to be the video spotlight channel for the trailer. People who haven't subscribed. So if they haven't, they'll see this. This is a great place if you want to grow your YouTube channel. I haven't done yet. Make a little short video talking about what you do on the channel and put that there for people that haven't subscribed. So then they'll
Okay.
just see it really quickly and go, okay, I get what this is about. Now I'll subscribe. So odds are if they clicked over to your channel from one of your videos, they're thinking about it. And if you're like, hey, I'm making all this content, check it out. And then this is for returning users. So this is like the video you want everybody to watch, right? Branding, banner image, watermark, picture, basic info, name of your channel, handle of your channel. So this will be youtube.com/Matt Hollis. If you have pronouns that you want to be known as, you can add those in there. Your URL, links to your website, your contact info. So that's basically where you'd find all of those types of things. I think there's one more spot in here somewhere where you can customize. Faith, a watermark is going to be the thing that shows up on the bottom right of a YouTube video. And you can set this based off of how you want it. So you can do like, I want it on the entire video. I want it to show up at this custom start time in every video. For me, it's just at the end of the video. Now, if I was smart and doing more with this, I probably would make this like a subscribe button and just have it show up at the end, but make it like visually noticeable. So then they go, oh, I can subscribe. But you can also do this with like an end screen, right? So that's another way to do it. So yeah, that would be, that's the way to do it right there, like to just edit it. And if
Okay,
there's
that-
something that I didn't mention here, Sandy, just ask GPT where it is. That's
Okay.
what I would do.
I was going to, then I just said, well, I'll just run back to the video, but you went through it,
No,
so
that
now
works.
I understand that. All right, so my big question is, you were talking with Lisa Marie about separating her channels,
Mhm.
and my question then is, I think mine would be fine doing just one channel because I do, the self-love, the energy healing,
Yep.
the Reiki, and our products, they all can intertwine. So I should be
Mhm.
able to do just one channel is how I'm thinking that. Does that sound right? Yes?
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's your brand. That's who you are, Sandy. If
Okay.
that's
And
what,
I'll say that too. You bring up a good point, Sandy. Sorry to interrupt you, Craig, but you
no,
bring
no,
up a
that's
good
fine.
point.
Go ahead. I think I know where you're going.
When you're going after like a brand or a specific thing, like say you're building Unlimited Wisdom, right? that's going to be a totally different type of channel than Robert Hollis. And that's why we were kind of like playing around with the different names. It's like, do we want Matt and Craig to make content that has nothing to do with Robert on this channel? Are they going to do that? Maybe they won't. Okay, maybe it should just be Robert Hollis then. Maybe it's Robert Hollis and Unlimited Wisdom. Are we Unlimited Wisdom? Well, no, that's not what we are. That's something bigger than us. So no, we can't really call it that. Let's just go back to Robert Hollis, because truthfully, it's just his opinions on things and what he's excited about and what he's working on. And so I think that's where it does work, right? So, and those niches, of course, have to be close. I think everything that you're talking about fits in the same area.
Okay. And
And you guys could
my
ask
thought,
GPT about it.
well, and my thought was that it all fit into the same thing too, because, you know, it's all self-help, it's all self-love, and then the products that we have, the travel, the, you know, weight loss stuff, all of it just intertwines with self-love. So, okay.
And Sandy, if that's exactly who you are and what your brand is about, then yes. When you're talking about like what Lisa Marie was doing, she still wants to do, you know, she wants to do Buddy's Place. But at the same time, she also wants to share scripture.
Got
Now,
it.
okay, you see, to me and to a lot of other people, I think there's a big difference in the branding between the two.
Okay. Yep, I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I was like, oh shit, do I have to make like 4 different channels? I don't want to do that.
Believe it or not, you guys, back in the day, before and this just goes to show how much YouTube's grown into going, oh, we're going to be the entertainment network of the future, right? You used to have to make a different channel algorithmically for different types of content that you made. And I'm not talking about genre. I'm talking about whether it was shorts, whether it was lives, or whether it was videos. You couldn't do all of that on the same channel. You had to specifically go, this is a live streaming channel, this is a shorts channel, or this is a normal YouTube channel. And so now it's all in one channel. So you can make shorts on the same channel. You do lives on, you can do videos and stuff. So I just think do what feels exciting. And if I could give one recommendation to you, Sandy, and this even works for Peter and Linda, people love lists, right? So if you can sit down and go, the top 5 things that made the energy in our relationship better, talking to Peter and Linda, or Sandy, similar with you, this helped me out. The top 5 reasons to do this or that, or the most we got out of. These are things that people not only search for, but grab people's attention because they're easy to digest.
And
right?
you should do it from your point of view, not somebody else's point of view.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
Okay.
Do it from your point of view. And then say you want to pitch a product or something in there or get them involved. Have a way of saying that towards the end that ties into what you're talking about. So if it's like a trip or whatever it may be, have it tie in, but don't make it like such a big thing. Talk more about how it's supporting you and your journey and your mission of what you're doing. Because the thing is that I think as I've watched YouTube and people grow on YouTube, influencer selling is completely different than marketing in the old fashioned sense. I've bought products simply because I liked the people that were promoting them. Okay. And I'm sure a lot of people here have done that, right? That's influencer marketing. So when they're talking about it, it took them talking about it for 30 seconds for me to buy it. I didn't need an infomercial with them in it for me to buy it. That's just, it's like, I've already got enough benefit from you. So yes, I'm going to buy your t-shirt or whatever, right? So.
Got it. All right. Thank you. That's all I had.
Thanks, Sandy.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Great, Sandy. Thank you. Okay. Faith, I saw your question. We'll go ahead and get to that in just a couple minutes. We got Doc Ant and Doc Michelle coming up next. But first, Arthur Wainyo. Arthur, go ahead, open up, and please share the clean-shaven Arthur Wainyo.
Almost
Hey,
fine. I
Arthur.
need to shave again. Hey, there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about, but one thing is that I'm with you on the horror films.
Nice.
Nothing really scares me anymore because the first movie that I ever saw was actually Hellraiser. My sister took me to see Hellraiser in theater.
Nice.
I was 7 years old, and then
I was gonna say,
and then
7?
yeah,
Oh,
and then the
my.
next year I watched like all the Freddy Krueger movies in one weekend, and then the next weekend I watched all the Jason movies in one weekend. So like when scary movies come out now, like nothing scares me.
yeah. I've gotten to the point where like my thrills come from even VR horror. Like when I'm
Yeah.
so immersed and have it over my head that like something snaps in the background and I'm like looking over into the darkness, and now my brain's going, oh, this might be real a little bit, Matt. You know what I mean? So no, I'm with you. I grew up the same way, actually. So my
But
grandmother is my grandmother on my mom's side is heavily into horror movies. Don't know why. She just loves them, right? Doesn't get scared by them. So my mom was young. One of the first movies I think she got brought to was the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
yeah.
So for me, growing up, my grandma would always buy the newest horror movie or whatever, and I would sit down and watch them with her when I was like 8, 7, similar to you. And at first they scared me, but now I'm similar to you. I'm like, how do I get my thrills when
Desensitized.
it's just, yeah, I'm desensitized to it.
Like if
Or I
somebody gets
know
their
it's
head
gonna
chopped
come,
off, it's
right?
like no big deal. They just got their head chopped off.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's like I'm more now the paranormal or suspense is like what gets me, right?
Yeah.
So
The other thing that
cosmic
I
horror,
wanted,
scary as hell.
well, yeah, I still watch my sci-fi movies and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But
Right.
last night I watched one about it's on Prime about robots, people who have family that dies and they can pay to have like a, a cyborg come back and their memories
Mhm.
are all dumped into the cyborg.
Oh,
Except
for a
Is
minute there, I
it?
thought you were talking about Upload because that's
It's
another
got
similar
Colin
style.
Farrell in it.
I don't remember. It's like I'll have to like look it up. But
Yeah,
the
I
kid
know.
he thinks he's alive and he's the person. Like his mom dies and he's like okay, and he's like packing up and stuff. And he the family is like treating him all weird, and he's like, why are they being so rude to me? My mom just died. They won't even let me come see her at her funeral. They won't let me come to the hospital. And then
Okay, I know
he
what movie
slowly
it is now.
slowly finds out that he's not real. He's a robot, and
Hmm.
that there's these people that come around when the robots act up, try and get them to self shut down so that they can reuse their parts.
Hmm.
If they don't self shut down, then they have a drop team come in and it
Yeah,
blows like an
just
EMT.
this is what I love about science fiction, because just wait till this is like reality. We're
I
not
know,
that
and I'm
far
like,
away.
well, Microsoft already had a patent, started in 2014. They have a patent on harvesting loved ones, digital signatures online. So all their chats, emails, their
Hmm.
pictures, their videos, they can combine all that into and create a chat so you can talk to your dead loved ones.
This is
So they
actually
have
too you're so right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's gonna
they
happen
have an
for a
active
fact.
patent on this. They already have this.
Well,
So
that's
it's
Yep,
pretty
that's
and
kind of the
crazy.
it's
premise of Upload a little bit, where the essence of the individual is uploaded to the computer, and it's a really good little series that is on Prime. But it does bring up that kind of stuff where you're talking, and also if you ever watch the movie I, Robot with Will
Yeah, I've
Smith,
seen that.
there's that one sequence where he is talking to his mentor in the film after the fact that his mentor passed away, and then the mentors can only say, I can guide you, but I can't tell you. And it's an AI
like Yoda.
intelligence. Yeah.
Yeah, think of
Yeah.
Star Wars, like those spirits. That's the way that it's gonna be, because the truth is that it will be able to think, but it won't be able to feel. So to a certain extent, it will be able to give you great information. And this is where it's going to get into the really weird uncanny valley, because that same technology is going to be used on us with ourselves first, right? Like the whole thing that I was talking about with Facebook, how they built profiles and we've given them all this information. The end goal of that is to make an AI version of you that you don't know exists, to figure out exactly how to sell and entertain you specifically. And that AI is so much like you because of your habits and all the things that they know about you, that then they get to test their marketing on that and refine it. So then when they come after you with you don't say no. So, because you already have wanted to say yes, they have gotten it to the point where you'd be like, yeah, absolutely, I want to get that. So
It's a great
So
thing that advertising has been wanting for years and years, is how can I get
it's,
these types of people to buy this product? And
yeah,
we're seeing
Facebook
it come.
became one of the wealthiest companies on the planet by doing it.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was a couple things about the YouTube.
Hmm.
Recently, in the last couple of weeks, I've been I've been listening to like the music and stuff too, but been listening, watching in the mornings, like right when I wake up, this channel called Magic Club. It has
Mm-hmm.
they have almost 3 million uh, followers or subscribers, but they play a type of music that I've been to like a lot of resorts around the world, and they
Mm-hmm.
play the type of deep house chill music that you hear at the pool, and they show
The
like
relaxing
aerial
kind.
shots of like Postino, Italy, or like Greece and Tahiti and stuff. So it's like really relaxing stuff. It just puts me in the mind when I'm like getting ready in the morning, and like it's like reminding me, oh, a great trip, and making me imagine, oh, all those trips that I took, uh, which is like linking into the dream trips type of a
Mm-hmm.
thing. But the interesting that I did notice was that since I do listen to it in the morning, I noticed that in the morning, it's like one of the first videos that pops up in the suggestions when I open up the YouTube app, and at
Right.
night, it's not there. At night, it
Yeah,
shows me
YouTube
other
has
things
gotten
like
to
that.
that point. Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it
Well,
knows like in the morning I watch these type of videos, and then at night it like will show me something from like the Y Files, which is
mm-hmm.
another channel I watch a lot of, is the Y
And
Files.
at what time do you
Uh,
watch that?
Usually around like 10 o'clock,
At
I'll
night?
flip on. Yeah.
See, this is
Uh,
what it is, though. How great is that, though? Because like the goal of artificial intelligence, at least in the meantime, is to take out all of the. Here's the issue: we've become so entranced by like how much stuff is available that we need artificial intelligence now to go out and refine it down to just the things we want to enjoy, right? Because it's like, anybody here have family or friends that says you really need to watch this show? No, you don't understand. It gets so much better by season 4. You just have to watch 40 hours to get to it first. And you're like, oh man, I'm never gonna watch this. You know what I mean? Lost,
yeah.
my brother always tells me to watch Lost. Still haven't seen Lost. He loves it though. And so I
You're gonna be
think
disappointed by the ending.
that's what I always hear. That's why I'm worried, right? So yeah, that's the thing is I think as YouTube gets better and better, it's going to refine what you watch, when you watch it, how you watch it. And its goal is different than Meta's in the fact that it doesn't want to be the content creator. It wants to be the content curator, which is way better. Meta's end goal is to be the content creator, in my opinion. Like they would much rather you tell them what they want and then the AI creates it and you're just in your ecosystem of what you want, which I
You know
think
what?
is the opposite of connecting with other people, right?
What annoys me with the YouTube is that it shows like on your the suggested videos that it thinks that you would like, and I'm like, ooh, I want to watch all those. And then by the time you finish like one and you click out and you go back, your whole suggestions are like gone with new
Yeah.
videos. It's like, where's that video I wanted to watch? It's like
Because it's
then you have to
based
Right.
like,
on what you just saw.
yeah. And so like I'm like, so I go and I will go and preview the one, so it will show up in like my history. So then I
Mm-hmm.
can go back to the history and go watch those.
Right.
But
I've
Yep. I'm with you.
yeah. I found that at least if I'm watching on my computer, then I open a whole new window that's YouTube, and then I go watch it there, knowing that I can find it. And then I go
And
back to that. But on a phone, it's a little more difficult. Yeah.
well, YouTube, I
right.
think, is taking over TV because I watch YouTube on my TV more than I watch. Well, I pay for a YouTube TV subscription too,
Same
but
here.
I watch the regular YouTube app more than anything else. There's
I
like so
same.
much out there.
I
Yeah.
do not consume, honestly, guys, I probably do not consume the news or any other most content I consume is on YouTube now. And I don't think I'm alone in that. The only reason TikTok is even a competitor is because they invented a way to do short form content better than YouTube had at the time. But YouTube still dominates with like, hey, I want to watch a video essay that's 2 hours on this niche random event. Or I want to hear what this person has to say about this new album from this artist I really like. And so like I think as YouTube continues to grow and expand, it's just going to consume more and more of our time. But what it also will do is be like, hey, listen, Arthur, let's figure out a way to connect you with a community of people that like watching the same stuff you do, that like enjoying the same stuff you do. And I think that aspect YouTube is leaning more and more into, and I could see them doing that more and more in the future. People are already building their own communities, but I could see YouTube trying to do that almost themselves to a certain extent. So instead of TV networks, it's like a genre, but then it's a genre that everybody likes to watch and talks about. And yeah, so I'm a huge fan of YouTube. I grew up on it. It's also a different thing in that me and you are in that age group where we grew up on YouTube. It grew with us. So it's like I when I have an issue where it's like I don't know how to put this thing together, my first initial thought is to go to YouTube. That's the first thing I think to do. So it's kind of become like my go-to until AI. So
Yeah. And this is a reason why cable is going up, because they're still trying to get the viewers. This is the reason why what they call terrestrial television and radio are having issues now with getting revenue, because like what the internet has done and the news channels have done to the newspaper, revenue is being drawn away from those sources. So they try to raise their rates. That's why you see a lot of like CBS in recent times have problems with the cable companies. You know,
yeah, it's about the dumbest strategy you possibly could have as a business, especially with where we are right now.
Yeah.
Every single time that I see it, I'm like, because I've worked in subscriptions before and I've had to market them. Every single month that subscription gets billed, we're all asking ourselves, especially if we know the price keeps going up, is there a justifiable reason for me to keep this month?
And that's why a lot of people are cutting the cable and they're just going with internet, because then they can get their content on YouTube the way they want it, not in the cable bundle that you're getting from your local cable channel.
Well, and now you're seeing you're seeing YouTube and Amazon go, we'll just bundle all your streaming services together for one price.
Yeah.
And that's because they haven't. Go ahead, Arthur.
What's crazy is that if you have like a Roku device, they have like, you know, those tiles and stuff. So you have like all these like free TV channels popping up, like Pluto TV and all. They're like, okay, we're gonna give it to you for free, but they still show you like advertisements that are like 30 seconds, 40 seconds long. So they're taking all the ad revenue, getting you to move over from paying a subscription to like Cox or something, and then you can go like over to these. Like there's so much content like out there. It's like,
and you're gonna get with YouTube, you get with YouTube you'll get refined ads. So that's the thing too, is that social media has the benefit, because it's new media. It has the benefit of, you know, if I'm watching from time to time, I like to watch myself a little Judge Judy, like just an episode of Judge Judy, right? My parents, I grew up watching Judge Judy. They love Judge Judy. So I'll watch it from time to time. The commercials that happen while Judge Judy is on are not for me. Like they're not advertising to me. You know what I'm saying? They're advertising to the demographic they believe watches Judge Judy at that time. And that's based off of revenue, based off of certain people buying those products and those ads getting a return on their investment. The cool thing about YouTube is I can upload a video and somebody that's 70 years old that has no interest other than the one that we share together and me can both watch it, and I get ad revenue even though they're watching an ad that has nothing to do with what I'm doing. It's for them. So that's brilliant, because then I'm making the ad revenue. They're not getting annoyed like we do by going, why am I watching ads that matter zero to me? Right. And so that's the thing. It's like, I can't watch Judge Judy because the amount of medication ads that I have to sit through is like, I forget that that's even allowed in the United States, that you can advertise medication like that. Because I haven't
Well, the other
been,
thing
like, that's the
too
only
is
time I
that
involve myself.
the other thing too is if you're watching regular TV, I mean, most people have TiVo or they record TV now,
Streaming,
so they don't even watch ads. But the ads that they do show and share, the people that watch them, they're like 4 or 5 minutes long. And then on YouTube, the longest ad I think I've ever watched was like 60 seconds to get back to watching the movie or to the video.
Right. And
so
the thing is, you can also skip after the required amount of
some of
time
them
that
you
you're
can't.
supposed to watch.
Some of them you can't.
Yeah, some of them you can't, but you can, you know, it's a lot of times, like, you know, even some of the replays that we see from our channel, they come up, they play 5 seconds or 10, 15 seconds, and you could just, boom, drop right out of it instead of seeing the entire And now what they've done is 2, 3, 4 minute videos
Mhm.
that you get sucked into that they hope that you watch.
Yeah, I've seen streamers. There's people like Hassan and other streamers out there where they have these like top of the hour ad breaks where they'll like, okay, it's hit the top of the hour. I'm going to click the button to start running ads for all the people that aren't paying subscribers, right? Everybody sits there and watches the ads. Why? Because they want to support him in the community. How different is that than watching Judge Judy and watching those ads? So even think about that disconnect, where if you guys were watching one of my shows or movies on YouTube that I make and an ad comes up, you're going, if Matt's going to make money off of this and it's supporting him, I don't mind walking away and making a sandwich while the ad plays or something. You know what I mean? And so that's another different aspect of it, is like, I'm not, how does skipping affect revenue? I mean, based off of the way that I understand it, they're paying for the clicks and the views. They're not paid. It's not really based off of how much of it they watch or anything like that. It's more so like you're paying to have this person see it. You're bidding against a bunch of other people that are going, see my thing in those niches, and then you won the bid, so then you get shown. That's the way that it works.
And
if you don't make a return, then you just don't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's like what the normal commercial advertising is. They're trying to pay for your attention during the middle of a broadcast show. If you don't, if you ignore it, okay. The point is that they got the impression, the possible impression of it being shown to somebody who may react to it.
Yep. And just to get off topic or move along, but one thing for Faith, just to be careful of, YouTube, you can still get copyright strikes if you set videos to private. So if you are uploading other people's content, you can still get a copyright strike on your account. So just be careful of that.
This is why Arthur, thank you so much for bringing that up. The fact that I forgot that, actually, bad on me for forgetting that. Thank you so much. Yes, you guys, if you're going to upload like an episode of like The Sopranos or something on YouTube, they're going to copyright strike you, even if it's private. Doesn't matter. It's still in the algorithm. So absolutely what Arthur said. This is even more of a reason actually to make a YouTube channel that's not your main channel. So then if it did get strike, then you're like, whatever, you know? So thank you for bringing that up.
No problem. And you can create 50 channels per email account.
Yeah, that's insane, isn't it?
Incredible.
Yeah,
sometimes you can barely manage one.
Yeah, so if you have like 5 different email accounts, you can create 50 channels for each of those.
That's a lot of YouTube accounts, you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other thing I raised my hand for was that this morning I got beta access to LTX Studio. You talked about it several months ago, and they finally sent me an email telling me I have access to that. Have you played around with that?
Yeah, I did a live stream where I played around with it on my channel. I'll link it in here. But no, it's fun. I know that they've changed a bunch. I've already moved on to the next thing.
Oh, okay.
But
I was like, oh, I got the email. It's like I'm in the beta program now.
LTX, if you're not a video editor, so I grew up similar with YouTube. I love editing videos. It's something I've done just for fun, right? Like compilations of things or whatever. Didn't even make money off of it. Did it because I like doing it, right? But that's kind of, hold on one second. Let me find this video. So yeah, I did one off LTX, but then now I'm on to this whole new it's called Luma. And the only reason I'm into it a lot is because it is by far like the best video generator I've ever seen. I'm going to show you guys right now why.
Luma AI, right?
LumaLabs.ai. I put it in chat.
Okay. I'll throw that in the chat. Oh, you just did. Never mind.
I got it. Thanks, Craig. You're always there to help no matter what. So it's just like, I don't know if you guys can see this because I'll have to. Oh my God, they have a download no watermark button. Thank you guys. See, they're always changing things because now I had to get rid of this watermark myself, and I don't like doing that. It's an extra thing I don't like to do. But I'm making the farmer short. It is insane how good these have gotten. So not only the physics of the movement and the walking, see how he's putting weight on each leg, it loses it in certain aspects at certain time, but that's fixable. But the fact is that if you watch the video where I'm playing around with some of the other tools, it's fun to play around with LTX, but I just get frustrated because I have the editing skill to just take the clips into Premiere and edit them together. So the thing that I run into with LTX is I would just prefer to do it my way and not have to use their editor and machines and stuff to do it. Now, if you have no desire to open up Adobe Premiere, render out each one of these clips, put them in a row, put the sound effects to them, add the voiceover to them like I do, and you just want to put in your script and have it all in one place, that's why I keep saying LTX is amazing, because LTX gives you the opportunity to just get started making things. Like, you don't have to go through the process of learning how to do it all. So I'll log into LTX quick so you guys can see. But yeah, what's great about it is on stream, you guys watched me take other people's prompts if you were there, and I went through and showed you guys kind of how to do this. So you can edit the shots, you can edit the scene. It's as easy as clicking create a story, and then you just write about what the film or the story is about, and it starts putting it together. I used it kind of to play around with a Dream Trips ad, right? You can click generate video, it'll make a video. You can edit the shots and say, I want it this way or that way. So it's basically all of this stuff is built into it, right? Here, let me move this over so you guys can see it a little better. It's all built into LTX. Now, I do know an issue with LTX, and the reason that you're probably in the beta is they now have pricing out. So they're letting a bunch of people in because now they have their pricing models. It's $5 a month for 3 computing hours. You can buy more, but as you can see, it starts getting more and more expensive based off of how much you want to use their GPUs and stuff. I am currently part of this Luma, and I pay $99 a month, I think now. And it's the cheapest plan is $30 a month, and you get 120 generations. So for 99, you get 400. And to show you guys an example, I use this every day, and I've only hit 365 because the difference between this tool and the other tools, and this is the biggest pain in the ass of them all that you'll run into with LTX, I only had to generate these videos one time. I didn't have to generate this video 5 times until I got one that I liked. I clicked generate and clicked extend, and I can keep extending this clip. And they have this enhanced prompt too, which is really cool, but a lot of them are starting to have that, where it will take what you wrote and make it better for the AI to read it and what you want. So it's adding little variables there. But yeah, you can just go through and keep doing it. So now I have 364 shots. So I have, as an example, I'm going to just show you guys this real quick. You guys get me in the zone here. Thanks, Arthur. But if I opened up ChatGPT and I asked it, $1,000 to 2,000 shots in a 90 to 120 minute movie, right? So let's take it and say a short film. So we're going to say a short film can be anything under 20 minutes. But after that, it's kind of getting into episode territory. So a short film, we would say how many shots? 5. Short film. ChatGPT is going to give me shit. Has anyone else been having like really bad lag with ChatGPT? It's been like telling me basically to go back to Google Chrome, even though I've sworn off it since they've been trying to get rid of their ad blocker. I'm like, why would you do that to me? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna look it up again and I'll ask. But Craig, do you have anything to say to some of the stuff? Earlier, we talked about, like, Arthur talked about being in front of the camera, right? Or somebody did. Something like that I thought Craig would really be good at answering. Like getting more
Lisa
used to
Marie
being in
did.
front of the camera. Lisa Marie, right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I think that, being in front of the camera, again, it's just being true to you. And that's the most important thing. And you just got to do it. You know, it doesn't matter. One of the other things that I always like to tell people when they're learning about doing this is the more times that you're in front of it, the better you're going to get, because you'll figure out, okay, maybe I did this not well. And it's the same thing with doing your YouTube channel. Maybe this
Right.
didn't, you still have a desire to do it. You know, Mr. Beast, I know that we've shared that before, and he's even shared it. It's like looking at his, or even Roberts, you know, the first time he was on, didn't look like, you know, it's like, would you really want to watch this guy? But he kept going and going and going. One of the other channels that I've been involved with, when the pandemic hit, we converted from a live in front of people to being live online and using Zoom and learning how to use Zoom. And we didn't know what we were doing. And now, at least with, you know, from what I've learned, I've been able to do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff with Zoom, and I'm still learning. But if you were to say, okay, here, do this, the first time I got on Zoom, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know it was great. I didn't know how to switch images. I like what we do here. I'm playing around with, you know, if I wanted to go and say, okay, I want everybody to see this, and I want Robert to see everybody watch their responses, I click to the gallery view. If I want to focus on one particular speaker, I go to speaker view. If I want to have like what you just saw, I go to speaker view, and I just want the three of us in here so that the focus is on the three of us, and we're not watching Robert do a great explanation, or you talk about something, or Robert sharing a piece of paper in front of the screen, and there's 25 different cameras on the screen in front of you. So it's a matter of just doing it, learning it, experimenting. And that's exactly what Matt is sharing, is like, okay, I went from LTX to Luma because I saw a better idea with Luma. The thing was, he knows LTX. But
I
now
try
he
to learn
thinks,
all. I try to learn all of them.
right. But
Just
there's
so I
that
can.
learning curve of now he's having to go through and understand what Luma does. What is the difference between Luma and LTX, and go from there.
Oh no, did we lose Arthur?
I don't know. I see he's still on here, but his camera went off.
Maybe he was just like Matt and Craig are going on their rants.
Oh, well, no, I mean, the whole idea is it definitely, Arthur, to include you. I don't know.
Yes, no, absolutely. I was going to say too, Arthur, with LTX, I don't know if he's still here. So before
He is still
respond.
here. He's,
Maybe he
what
just
happened.
had something come up.
That's very possible. Let me see if I can
Here.
add him back.
Oh, he's like,
There
wait
he
a
is.
minute, I'm here. Hey, Arthur.
Anyway, so that's all I really want to share. Hold on, unmute yourself, if you will. Go ahead, Arthur. We can't understand.
Maybe he doesn't have anything else left. Is that what you're saying, Arthur? Okay. All right. Perfect.
All right.
Well, I'll just move on to this point quick.
Yeah.
Because I was waiting for GPT to work.
And I was filling time.
Right. Thank you for filling the time for me. No dead air. That's always a good thing.
That's right.
But no, the average short film, let me pull up the right tab here. The average short film that's 5 minutes is going to average 6 to 20 shots per minute. Now, could you have longer shots like the one you just saw to fit in there? Absolutely, if that's something you want to do. But I showed this to show you guys that if all you wanted to do was make episodes of a short film, right? Or just 5 minute shorts or whatever, right? You could easily do that now with Luma Labs just with that one subscription, right? So when I saw, because I know that this is going to be probably more shots than that, but that's because something wrong with me. But but I think for most people here, Luma Labs, just the $30 one would be enough. And I think they're competitively pricing themselves around that area, but you're still going to then have to take this to then another video editing thing like CapCut, Premiere, So even if you guys saw the short or whatever, who's that guy? The short that I made with Luma, this one. And Craig, you could play this if you want, because I don't think anyone can hear it. It's only like 23 seconds, if you don't mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna just,
oh yeah.
I'll send it in chat here so anyone can go over if they want to watch it again.
All right, there we go.
This
Let
was
me go
done
ahead
with
and get that.
Luma, so you'll see all the this is one continuous shot with Luma that's 23 seconds long, which is
All right.
long.
Let me go ahead and share that with everybody.
One season was particularly harsh. We had to burn half the orchard because of disease. I was crushed, somewhat broken inside. But I tried once again.
You know what I love, Matt, is the fact that you hear the fire.
Yep, none of that's there. I had to do all that in Premiere. You know,
Yeah.
so the music that you guys heard is from Suno. The song is an instrumental song I made in Suno. The sound effects were made in 11 Labs because 11 Labs can make sound effects now. The voice is from 11 Labs. So I wrote what I wanted him to say, and then I paste. You can paste it in 11 Labs. Because I'm such an editor, I just take the audio track and paste it, cut it up and paste it inside of the editing software. So any pauses you hear in his voice, I added. And then any of the fire sounds or noises of the camera moving or anything, those are sound effects I added too. So it just goes to show with the current tools, this is like where it's at. And now I'm like, okay, I could easily make the Sower's Tale now. I know that I can do it with what I currently have. Can I make some of the other things I wanted to make, Serpentine and stuff? No, those stories are going to need more technology. But it's going to get there. So you guys could see like, okay, some of these shots go right into that, right? Here's when he was a kid. Here's him playing guitar for his dogs. Here's him picking apples. Here's him as a kid again. Orchard burning down. And a lot of these shots are some of the best I've seen from artificial intelligence, like make as not only as coherent as they are, but being able to extend them, the camera, not like the smoke's moving up in the same direction. The fires are burning upwards. You know, a lot is happening enough for me to look at it now and go, oh, if I edited this together in a particular way, I know that people will actually enjoy watching it. So yeah, thanks for letting me show you guys. It is the Imaginators, so I guess showing my imagination kind of helps, but
just a little.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, let's move on. We are at the 2-hour mark, so let's go ahead and hit Doc Ant and Doc M. Go ahead, open up, and please share with us.
Hey, Doc Ant, how's it going?
Fantastic, thank you. What a great evening. It's been good, guys. You know,
thank you.
Matthew, you said something earlier in terms of people are interested in you. And in the topic tonight where it says, what inspires you? Just imagine that all of us start doing what Matthew Hollis did tonight, because, man, Matthew Hollis was on the loose. He was in his groove in terms of doing what he loves. Now, for me, that's what Imaginators is about, is for us to see when someone gets to where they want to be. Because the key is really through the person of who you are. Every single person on this call has got a different skill and a different talent. But we saw it demonstrated, and I think Craig was excellent in terms of realizing that you were on the loose tonight. So I want to just say, just imagine that we help everybody on Imaginators tonight become who they should be. Let them get on the loose through who they are, because there's so much potential for every single person on this call tonight. And what I can say to you is that every person here has got a secret sauce. Matthew Hollis, we saw your secret sauce in action tonight. And I really believe this is where we're going with Imaginators, is that just imagine every single person on this call that you let loose through who you are because of the skill and the talent that you have. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doc. You know, I appreciate you so much. That's very sweet of you to say. You know, I just love sharing with you guys. I get that down the grapevine, so to speak. Like when I see exciting stuff and stuff that inspires me, I want to share it with you guys. And I just love having a community to share these things in. Like I don't really consider myself a leader. I'm just using the skills at which I have to share with you guys. Like things that I've grown and worked on, like being in front of the camera and talking and stuff like that. And so I wouldn't be here without you guys supporting me, you know, in my own personal growth. Cause I didn't start here. If you rewind time, I was definitely more behind the scenes pretty much all the time. So yeah, thank you so much for that. That's very nice of you to say.
Doc Ann, thank you so very much for sharing that. That's awesome. And that's the whole point. You know, we support each other. We help each other grow where we're at. And I think Robert is, if you don't think that Robert is about that, then you just don't understand Robert. Yes, network marketing is a vehicle that he's used to help people get to where they want to be monetarily. But if you really look at what Robert is doing and sharing, especially with us, with the videos that he's created, with the shorts, by doing Ask Me Anything and Inner Circle and Imaginators, he's more interested in helping you become a better you. And that is the key. And you know, some people don't understand that. We do, because we are here in the inner circle. We are talking about this in Imaginators and Inner Circle. Robert doesn't care whether you follow him or not as part of an MLM, whether it's MDC or what other MLM company it is. He just wants you to be a better you.
No, that's so true, Craig, because one thing when I was young, I'll share this real quick since we're ending. There was a moment when I was young where I realized that my dad was like a good guy, like was helping people. You know what I mean? And it was in those moments where I'd be at the house and he'd be like, "Hey, these people are coming over for dinner." I'm like, "Who?" And they're like, and he's like, "Oh, it's people that I helped out like 10 years back or something like that." And they'd come over and they'd be like talking about how much their marriage had changed and how much better they are. And there's even this one couple that's having a really hard time having a child, right? And then they like sat down with my dad and worked on it between them and stuff like that. And they actually, he was one of the first people that they told that they were pregnant. You know what I mean? Because it was like, wow, he had gotten them to believe that they could be again. And that was part of their journey because they had been at a place where they're giving up possibly on that being part of their lives moving forward. And he's been there. You know, my mom's been through stuff. I'm glad that I'm here if you know their story, right? And so I know for a fact when I saw those moments that like my dad really cared. Like the money is great and it's a huge benefit to what you want to do, but my dad doesn't have to invite people over from 10 years ago that he helped, you know, for dinner, unless if he's built a connection or a relationship with them where they want to be there. And when they show up, they're so happy to be there and talking about how much he's benefited them and he's sharing how much fun it was and how much they benefited him. And it's more of like growing up kind of in that environment made me realize, even as I see my dad, you know, build large organizations and income and stuff, that's still like the heartbeat of it all. And that's why when he goes, "Hey, I'm doing this new thing," there's always people there going, "I want to do this with you." And I think that comes from a place of communicating and sharing with people and inspiring people. And if one of you guys, and you've seen this, came up to him and went, "Hey, I don't want to work in what you're doing anymore. I'm going to go in this whole different route." He would support you in doing it and go, "How could I help you?" You know what I mean? He'd be sharing it, kind of like with the Kai stuff, right? Like Kai is going, "I want to go this men and fitness route and I want to try to do this stuff." And he's been successful at it. And you've seen us support him in doing that, right? Speaking of, if you haven't voted today, make sure to vote. But
I was just going to get that. He's out at now at number 8. He's gone up.
There you go. There you go. We're making progress, you guys. But yeah, I just love and appreciate you guys in supporting me. Thank you guys for all the kind words and stuff today. Thanks for showing up today, even though you guys knew that Robert wasn't going to be here, that it was just going to be us. So the last couple of days, you know, I know he gets back tomorrow, and I know that we're going to all see him very soon. And I know anytime he comes back from a vacation, he's normally like jacked out of his mind. He's one of those guys that comes from a vacation with more energy, which is weird, you know? because I'm like, how could you even have more energy than you do? But that's the case. So I'm excited to hear what he has to say when he gets back, and I'm looking forward to that. But it's been a great weekend with you guys and great week sharing with you guys. So I just love and appreciate you guys. I'm going to give you the last word, Craig, if you want to share anything.
Matt, you said a lot. I guess the only thing else that I can share is thank you, each and every one of you. And thank you, Matt, too, because it's, I know I've shared it in private messages to you, but I'm going to just share it with everybody. I love and appreciate the opportunity to work with you so much. And
feeling is completely mutual. Absolutely. I feel very, very fortunate. And that's the thing, is like, I feel like as we've grown this community, even starting it out with like Craig and Melody, some of the people that have been here for a long time in multiple different of our communities,
yes.
Right? Craig, you're family without a shadow of a doubt. Like it's, if you were to pop in, we'd be like, hey, what's up, Craig? Or if I were to run into you in person, if I ever got out of the house, right?
Yeah. Oh no, I can honestly guarantee you. I mean, and with everybody, there's a big hug waiting for you when we get together.
Absolutely.
And that's what's so amazing about this community, is that, as we continue to grow, as we continue to talk, as we continue to get to know each other better, or gooder and gooder, there's so much love, there's so much support, there's so much to share, and we are genuinely interested in each other. And that is what is incredible about this. We learn from each other, we enjoy each other, and we share, and we want the best for each other. And that's really what this is all about.
That's a great message to stand by. So
yeah.
Thank you so much, Craig. Thank you, everybody, for being on here
with
us on Sunday.
Got to give shout outs to our participants: Deborah Bronner, Lisa Marie Cook, Peter and Linda, Faith Castio, Coach Bob, Sandy Baker, Arthur Waino, Doc Ant, Doc Michelle, and of course, Matt. Bless you, my friend. Thank you so very much. And thank each and every one of you for being here and joining us. I know, again, because of the way that things were going, there wasn't a lot to share in the chat, but there's still a chat here in Zoom. So if you want to save some of the things that others shared along with
there's good vibes in there.
Oh God, yes. Please click on the 3 dots in the meeting chat that's next to the title where it says Imaginators, and then click on Save Chat. It will download to your computer as we conclude this Zoom presentation. Every one of you, bless you. Thank you. And onward and upward, we're going to make this community even more incredible than it already is. And with your help, we can do that. I'm going to ask everybody to unmute as we all say, so long for now. Be good to yourselves.
Thank you so much, Matthew.
Happy Sunday. Thanks, all.
Happy Sunday. Thank you guys so much for being on here with us.
Thanks, Matt. Craig, you did a great job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Matt, Craig.
Incredible.
Thank you, Sandy, Coach Bob, Peter, and Linda, Jerome, Deborah, Melody, Daniel.
Enjoy your Sunday night.
Faith and Arthur.
Woo!
Be happy, everyone. Great to see you all.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye, guys.